For some reason, I always look up when I'm making a video where I don't have to actually look at my phone. I don't know why I do it. And I actually, like, turn to the TV as if I'm talking to the TV. I don't know. I don't know why, but it's a big problem because the video ends up turning off and just ends itself early, like it did this time. This school on Wednesday, the 14th of September 2022, part 2. So, point is, or actually, I didn't actually explain because I didn't really. Last week, we did 2 Fifth Harmony music videos, Worth It and Work From Home, which are very sexual. And if the teacher were to, study teacher, looks at my iPad through the classroom feature and looks and says, "Oh, he's watching what is basically softcore porn." That is very inappropriate. So not only am I going to that through this tab, they're able to like lock your iPad out, and you cannot use your iPad until they unlock it. So not only am I going to do that, you're actually kicked out of school for watching porn. Actually, I'm going to make a joke just to calm myself down for this.
Number 7. Student watches porn and gets naked.
I also talked to the female head here about that, and she said that she's going to email the media teacher, and now what the media teacher has to do is email the study teacher to say, the people who do my year 14 media have to watch a very sexual music video for media studies. If you see them looking at a very sexual music video, please do not lock out their iPads because, they're not watching porn in school. They are watching porn in school, but they're doing it because I told them to. But at that point, because the teachers hate, like, I swear to God, the teachers hate each other for the most part. So, what do you think she'll do it anyway? So, moral of the story, invasion of privacy is wrong, and do not do media studies for the love of God. Anyway, Judy was decent because I actually had someone to talk to, because last year I had another person that I was supposed to do it with who, he's kind of a mate, but he never did it, ever. Like, not once. So, plus I got to sit down, which was great, and then eventually we were talking about, like, God of War, Gotham Knights, Assassin's Creed, etc. It wasn't just all games, it was other stuff, but they're the things that I was thinking on the top of my head. Then we went into science because 2 of our mates were doing duty there, and we were talking. And it was great. There's something to say for English because I did sort of like ruin a friendship. Well, I don't know what she would say friend, because we did kind of hate each other for a couple years, like 3 years. And only really became friends because we both did media. But we were supposed to look up the definitions of some words in English, and I sort of have a reputation within English of doing that really fast, because the teacher doesn't ask me to do it, I just do it. But for this, she did ask us to do it, so we were all doing it, and someone else did it faster than me, and I wasn't jealous or anything like that, because I don't do that thing because I want to. I do it because I deem it necessary. But she got it really quickly, and I was like, "Wait, did you look that up?" Because, and the reason I asked that is because I didn't hear any fingers clicking, typing. I mean, and I don't mean to insult her intelligence, but it's not really anything that any of us knew. So I assumed that she knew what the word was and just answered it. But now she doesn't like me. But then again, she says she hates this other guy all the time. But then, like the next day, they're best friends again. Oh, I covered up my iPad's camera because I don't want them looking at me. And I actually had the idea of growing out a beard, just so I can kind of hide my face. But the problem is that I just can't grow hair on my face. It only ever happens at the neck. So that's not gonna work. Also because of the fact that I really need to shave. I haven't shaved in like 10 days, and I was supposed to do it on Sunday, and I forgot I was supposed to do it Monday. I forgot I was supposed to do it yesterday, and I forgot. So I'll have to do it once this video is over. Or I'll probably just be lazy and not do it. Anyway, this Twitter as of 5 past 6 p.m. Well, 5 past according to my iPad. Honestly, I should have played this version of it because it just feels more appropriate.
Number 7. Student watches porn and gets naked.
So, if you want... Right, I don't say stuff in my videos without evidence. And usually that evidence comes from stuff that I've seen from Twitter that I actually talk about in my other videos. So what YouTube needs to do is look at all of my videos to see when on Twitter I saw the thing that said that study finds gradual increase in corona infection after second vaccine dose. This is an article from BMJ.com. I don't know who BMJ.com are. I don't know if they're... actually, let's just click on here to see who they are. Right, so science. So this shouldn't be political. Study published by the BMJ today finds a gradual increase in the risk of corona infection from 90 days after receiving a second dose of the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. Like, if you want me to link you this article, I will. So that you can read it yourself. I'm not going to read out the whole article because I shouldn't have to. Anyway, what are we shutting down? Also, why? FBI, I'm going to assume this has something to do with a raid on Trump's mansion. Trump slammed the weaponized police state after the FBI seized a phone belonging to pillow salesman Mike Lindell as part of a witch hunt against Trump's allies. Another person's phone was taken. Wow. So, I mean, after they've confiscated everyone's phone, and I mean, they did say that we're going to hit 8 billion at any point, so all 8 billion people's phones. Once they've confiscated all of them to look for evidence of Trump doing something, what then? What are they going to take next? John Boyega rises again. I mean, I didn't know he fell. He hasn't really done anything since the end of Star Wars, but that was at the very end of 2019, and there was a good reason why he hasn't done anything since then. So I wouldn't really say he fell. But I'm going to assume this is him talking about that movie, what's it called? The Woman King? Something like that. Oh, black British actors taking American roles. Well, what's it got to do with being black? Right, you're English doing an American accent. Like, your race shouldn't have anything to do with that. Here we're comparing to the Gestapo now. Now, I don't know anything about these people. I've never heard of these people before. But since you're talking about these people, it should be obvious that you know a decent amount about these people. Excuse me, I think I'm starting to get the hiccups. So, what are these people about? I know you've said here that Trump's Gestapo fighting against their own country, but in their own words, what do they actually believe? Till then, I'm not forming an opinion. Fear Zelensky? Yeah, I'll be honest. Zelensky is... Right, haha, so funny. Yeah, Zelensky is very brave, but he's also a fascist. Like, Lance Stone Talks Congress is like, a Nazi! Ah! From Ukraine, though. Oh, I love you. Like, that's real. Zelensky is... I think it was conscription. Like, this all stuff that if you look from older Twitter videos, you'll find that this is why I'm calling him a Nazi. Because as I said earlier, most of the stuff I say that may sound stupid comes from evidence that you can find in my older Twitter videos. I was talking about Mason Greenwood. Is that the one that was... I was about to say he's racist, but... Oh, right, yeah, he was the one that... I don't remember what it was because I don't follow football, but... Like... You know, it's something sexual in nature. I don't want to say sexual assault or anything like that because I don't actually know what those words mean. Like, I don't know what the proper definitions. It's like when Dogger asks if you're sexually active, like, what base do you need to be at to be considered sexually active? But, so he's not guilty, right? Okay. So, as far as I know, what happened was that someone accused him of something sexual in nature. Let's just say, we'll say rape for now. You know, someone, girl on the police said that. Sorry, my iPad was brushing up against my chair. Girl goes to the police, says Mason Greenwood raped her. I could easily just go on my brother and ask him what happened, but whatever. So, they arrest him, bring him to trial, and he said that she consented, which would mean it's not rape, and then I don't know how you would find evidence that she consented, because, like, it's not like you write down on a piece of paper, I consent every time you're about to have sex. Prince Harry's moving tribute to Queen. Yeah, sure. I'm not going to say the two words again. I've said it enough recently. An F word being picked. I don't know what that is. I thought that word meant a bundle of sticks. That doesn't look like a bundle of sticks to me. And even though most people know it's a bundle of sticks, and if you look at this video, you can tell that if I were to say the word, it's obvious that it's in the context of being a bundle of sticks. Or whatever the hell this is. Honestly, it looks like a char-grilled frog to me, but anyway. Point is, despite the fact that it's obvious I'm talking about a bundle of sticks, they would definitely take me down for homophobic language. Looks just like you. Roasted. Calling it now. Once self-driving cars are... that word. Your car will drive itself to the police station with you locked in it if you get a warrant. This film actually looks good. I've seen the trailer for it today.
Early March. Video footage of Chinese people collapsing suddenly on the streets of Beijing, Shanghai, wherever, flat on their faces, dying in the streets because of COVID. Now, of course, we know that is not a side effect of COVID, that you immediately collapse and die on the street. These videos were salaciously republished by all the tabloid newspapers and others, aired on evening news shows. I think that was one example of how the government literally copied and pasted what the Chinese were doing to their population. Of course, we had in the early days of the lockdown in the UK, people still going out, people still having barbecues, being kicked out of parks. Of course, Derbyshire police and others literally had surveillance drones harassing people for February, early March.
Did Western governments copy and paste China's media propaganda tactics to control their people? If I told you that the most pro-American, patriotic thing you could do for America was to find common ground with your countrymen over politics, could you do it? How patriotic do you consider yourself to be? How deep does your love of country go? Funny how this patriotism only ever requires one side to compromise. In fact, it seems that the more of their values they sacrifice in this endeavour, the more they are asked to give. Dear Americans who mock us for mourning our beloved Queen, she dedicated her entire life, and it was her entire life considering she did it from her 20s to her 90s. With no break. Judy and Gunnar, even just 2 days before her death, you mourned a man who pointed a gun at a pregnant woman by burning cities to the ground. We are not the same. Who's the FBI going to go after next? Barron Trump? How about the Apprentice winners from 15 years ago? I've already read this. New survey has found that almost 4 out of 5 refugees living in Sweden have vacationed in the countries that they originally fled from. Which means that, I know he said refugees there, but see if they're going back to their own country, and I shouldn't have said it that way. But you know, if they're going back to their home country, that means it means they aren't fleeing from whatever's in their home country. It means they aren't immigrants. Sorry, they aren't refugees. Keep getting the terminology mixed up. They aren't refugees. During a speech to censor patients and survivors, Biden thanked the crowd and pointed up to a balcony, jokingly commenting, "Don't jump from up there." CNN and other news networks broadcast split screen of Joe Biden celebrating the passage of his Inflation Reduction Act, while the Dow Jones simultaneously tanked to its lowest point for 2 years on the news that inflation is still at record highs. Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan sparked controversy Tuesday by referring to so-called MAGA Republicans and declaring, "We gotta kill and confront that movement." Democratic Senator Joe Manchin described Vice President Kamala Harris as dead wrong following comments she made in an interview claiming that the southern border is secure. How would she know? She hasn't been to the border yet. Every time that someone asks her, she just laughs it off like it's a joke. that bit about her laughing her off is a joke. That doesn't come from one of the Twitter videos. That comes from a video uploaded by Freedom where it was like a 12-second video. In fact, I'll just show it because it's so short.
Next act is a journalist asking a simple question. Kamala, why didn't you visit the border?
More evidence. Like, actual evidence instead of a cartoon. Here you go.
She also has the weird...
Fox News is untrustworthy. Suck it up. It's video evidence that... The only reason why I'm playing Fox News is because Fox News are the only people that broadcast it. When I search up Kamala Harris laugh, first person to pop up is Fox News. Like, when I've seen the clips, I didn't notice any evidence of like doctoring or anything like that. Could be wrong though. So, yeah. These videos, I haven't noticed anything wrong with them. The proper organic videos, if that is the correct word. Here's your evidence, is what I'm trying to say.
Habit. I can't figure it out. Giggling at all inappropriate moments like these.
Do you plan to visit the border?
Not today. More parents are seeing the value of educators when they had to bring their kids and say, we're not paying them nearly enough.
What's your response to reports of Americans?
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage, but in case you didn't know, hard hats are actually unisex. Everybody's laughing.
I asked for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second?